Hi friends, welcome to Beautifully Bookish Bethany. Today's video should be fun. I'm doing a vlog where for the next 2 days, Instagram is going to control what I read and some of what I do. It's Tuesday morning. My kids are finally safe to go back to camp. So they're gonna be at camp today and tomorrow, and that means I have a lot of time to get things done. I do have some editing and things I need to do, but I also wanna get a lot of reading done because I have a lot of books that have been sort of piling up that I need to get to for review or for book clubs or whatever. And so I thought it would be fun to take 2 days and let Instagram pick what I'm gonna read. So the way that I'm doing this is by polls using emojis. So far I have 3 polls going up because I need to pick an ebook, a physical book, and an audiobook that I'm gonna be doing for this vlog. Again, I'm not giving specific titles, but I tried to pick emojis that sort of encapsulate some of what the book is. So the first poll is for my ebook. The 2 options for an ebook are Morning Glory Milking Farm. This I need to read for the Blades and Bodice Rippers book club. It is a monster erotica about a young woman who gets a job working at a miniature milking farm, except it's not actually milk. So that's going to be an interesting one. So I do need to read that. So that's one of the options. The other option is I could finish my reading of The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. So that's what these 2 emojis are for. I'm currently, I think, about 35% of the way into it. I love Sylvia Moreno Garcia. The book is beautiful, but a little bit slow going. So I do feel like Morning Glory Milking Farm would be the faster read to get through for the purposes of the vlog, but I do also want to finish up reading The Daughter of Dr. Moreau and kind of see what happens. This is her retelling of the island of Dr. Moreau, but set in Mexico from the perspective of his half-Mexican daughter. And Dr. Moreau is creating these sort of hybrid creatures using gene splicing. Very interesting. So those are my 2 options for ebook. We'll see what the poll ends up landing on. The next poll is for an audiobook. For this, I have a NetGalley book on audio that I need to listen to, and then I have one where I have the physical and the audio. So we have The Name of All Things by Jen Lyons, which I've been meaning to get to. This is that one with the horse and the swords because it's like this epic complicated fantasy book. I've been meaning to get back to this, so this is one of the options. The shorter and maybe more accessible option is Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. I have a NetGalley audio arc of this one, and I do want to read it. It is her latest kind of thriller novel about a woman who moves back to her family home but is reckoning with the fact that her dad was a serial killer, and she starts having weird stuff happen, so I'm excited to read that one. So those are the 2 audio picks that they're deciding between. And then for the physical book that I'll be reading, the first one is Earth and Aliens, and that is for A Half-Built Garden by Ruth Anna Emrys. I'm a little ways into this. It's really interesting and really good, but again, definitely denser and a little bit slower going, but I want to make progress on it. It's really beautiful. They're comparing it to Ursula K. Le Guin. It's set in 2086, I think, so future Earth where climate apocalypse happened, people are surviving, and then aliens appear. And so it's like first contact plus climate fiction. It's queer. So far I'm liking it, so that's one of the options. And then the other option is another queer book. This is Greenwood by J. Twillos Hennig, and I was also sent this from the publisher to review. It's a new edition of a book that came out a while ago, and it's the first in a series of queer Robin Hood retellings. Those are the 2 physical book options. We'll see what people vote on. I'm going to let the polls run for a little while I go eat breakfast, and then I need to do a little bit of editing on a podcast episode, and then I will kind of see what won and check back in. I've also got a poll running deciding what I should eat for lunch. So it's between salad and sushi. So far I think sushi is gonna win, but I'm happy with either one. So I'm gonna go have some lunch somewhere. Maybe I'll put up some other polls and let people pick things as well. Hello, I'm ready for the day. I finished editing most of the podcast episode I was working on, and the polls have now been up for about 3 hours. So I think we're gonna cut it off here, and the results seem pretty definitive. For my ebook, I'm going to be continuing with The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. For my audiobook, I'm going to be doing The Name of All Things by Jen Lyons. And for a physical book, the winner was definitely the Greenwood, so I will be starting this book today and we'll see how I get on with it. It's 11:30. I had an early breakfast. I'm about ready for lunch, and the winner of the lunch poll between salad and sushi was by far and away sushi. So y'all definitely wanted me to have sushi for lunch. I am going to go ahead and order some sushi to pick up and maybe go eat outside if it's not horrendously hot. What is the weather looking like at the moment? It is horrendously hot. It is 93 degrees. And because I'm still supposed to be masking indoors for a couple more days recovering from COVID, I don't want to be eating indoor at a restaurant. So I'll order sushi for pickup and maybe try to find a nice shaded spot where it's not terribly hot and I can sit and eat lunch and do a little bit of reading. And then we are going to see what the results of my next two polls are for what I'm going to be doing in part of the afternoon. I have run out of some skincare items and a couple of basic makeup items, so I really need to go to Sephora. I needed to go before I got COVID, and now I'm like completely out of moisturizer that I typically use at night, so I really need to go and pick up a replacement. So I'm gonna go and do that. But I thought I would also maybe stop in by a bookstore and let y'all decide which Sephora and which bookstore I am going to, not that you know that those are the two things that I'm doing. So there's a Sephora in One Direction that is near my local Barnes & Noble, which is currently having a pretty cool sale for buy one, get one half off all hardcovers in store. And I think today might be the last day of the sale. So I've kind of been wanting to go do that. Like, do I need two hardcovers? I don't know, but that would be fun. You know, trying to figure out how to do this in emojis is difficult, so I did like a sale tag and a green heart for like the brown and green and the fact that there's a sale happening. The other option is there's a Sephora near me in a different direction that is close to a used bookstore I like to visit, and the proceeds for that go to a good cause, so I like to go and check it out and support them when I can. So for that, we have a scroll, because it's old used books. I thought maybe that would work, and a location pin because it's in my neighborhood. So like for local indie as opposed to a national chain is my thinking on that. So we'll see what the results on that end up being. And then my last one is just whether I'm gonna have like a plain iced tea or maybe a green tea latte type drink for the afternoon when I'm ready for a pick-me-up. We'll see what y'all vote on. I'm gonna bring some books along with me, go pick up some lunch, and we'll definitely get some reading done today as well. I finished lunch, it was pretty good, and I've been listening to The Name of All Things, which I slowed down more than I usually do audiobooks, and that seems to be helping me with retention. So I'm actually doing okay not having a physical book in front of me. I am gonna check the results of those polls. So first up, for the poll of where I'm going shopping, it looks like I am gonna be going to the used bookstore in my neighborhood. So that's the plan. And then everybody definitely voted for iced tea, which honestly, not a bad plan given how hot it is outside. I also put up this next poll, so we'll see what it is for when I get back. If I should spend my afternoon listening to an audiobook and cleaning, or laying in bed and relaxing while I read either a physical book or an ebook. So we'll see what wins. It is about 2:30. I'm home. I have my iced green tea, and I think I did pretty good. I got mostly skincare stuff, a couple of makeup things I needed, and found two used books for $12 for the two of them, which worked out nicely. Little big, somebody had recommended to me, and I put it on my wish list, and for $4. I was like, yeah, great. So success with the shopping. In terms of reading, I've gotten a little more than 50 pages into The Name of All Things, and I'm into it. I'm enjoying it. It's interesting because it's definitely got nested narrative structures like the first book in the series did. Also, there's some interesting things in here with cultures that do things differently in terms of gender and sex being two sort of separate things. and there's queer characters, and there's just like a lot of interesting things happening. There's dragons, there's firebloods that are basically like sentient talking horses. I'm enjoying it, so I'm gonna keep going with that. But since I'm home, I took a look at the poll results from my last poll, and despite the fact that my house could use some cleaning, most of you guys want me to rest, and honestly, I'm a little tired. So it's probably for the best, especially because I do have a live stream tonight. So I am going to get my tea, get a snack, and read in bed. I think I'm gonna try to make a little more progress on The Daughter of Dr. Moreau, since that is out this week, and I'm already 35% of the way into it, and then maybe at some point I'll start Greenwood and see how I get on with it. Okay, so I've read a few chapters of this, and it's so good. I'm loving it. I'm glad I decided to give it a go, because I've been really picky about Robin Hood retellings and wasn't sure how I was gonna get on with it, but the reviews looked really good. It's so good. It's more of a fantasy reimagining that's very different. It has like fey magic and the old gods, and it's like Scottish vibes, and so far I'm loving it. I'm not that far in, but it's really good. I am about to do a live stream over on my channel with a few friends, reacting to Goodreads lists of most popular sci-fi fantasy books in the last 3 years, and the winner of the poll was cherry, so I'm drinking cherry sparkling water. Did I tell you I was putting this poll up? I put up a poll for if I should drink blueberry or cherry sparkling water. This was the winner. This is what I'm going to be drinking during the live stream. And I put up a poll for what I should eat for breakfast tomorrow, between oatmeal or eggs. So we'll see what wins in the morning. I'll see where it is when I wake up. And then, I don't know, I'll give some thought to like what else I should put on there. Happily, I'm also really enjoying the things I've been reading. My evening, I didn't get much reading done. Picked up my kids from summer camp, hung out with some of their friends at the playground, and now I'm gonna go do this live stream.
I'm glad it's here though, because literary fantasy, I wasn't expecting this high. Jesus.
Book of Night has 10 times as many want to reads as ratings. Listen.
And its rating is like a 3.5 because it sucks.
Yeah, well, I added it, and now I don't want to read it anymore.
It's all the Cruel Prince fans that just added it because it was probably black.
Yeah.
Followers. That looks lit ficky.
It looks very lit ficky. Two ambitious friends, the dark choices they make, and the stunning moment that changes the world as we know it forever.
Also, that's 2 synopses in a row that have used electrifying. We need new words.
Agreed. Elizabeth, you're right. Where is Murderbot? Somebody...
I'm here. It's on my list.
It's on Aaron's list.
Yeah. Those are the 2. Murderbot and The Expanse were the 2 I finished. This list and was like, wait a second, what?
Good morning. So I took a look at the polls. My kids just went off to camp for the day, and it was very, very close on breakfast, but slightly edging out ahead was eggs. So I'm gonna make some eggs for breakfast. And then I also did a poll seeing for the morning if y'all thought I should do ebook or audiobook. Audiobook is the definite winner, which I'm actually kind of happy about, because number one, I'm liking my audiobook. I'm about 100 pages into The Name of All Things and really enjoying it. It's interesting because it's a framing device where the main people are at a tavern together, and then they're telling stories. So each chapter begins with the present and them at the tavern and what's happening there, and then goes to the past of the storytelling, and I'm really liking it. It's great. And I need to get my house a little bit cleaned up because I didn't do it yesterday and it's a little messy. And I need to pack up some packages for patrons that should have gotten sent out last week but didn't because I got COVID, and I need to make that happen. So the plan is to have breakfast, listen to my audiobook, clean the house, pack some packages, and I need to set up a couple more things for y'all. I gotta figure out like what my options for lunch are gonna be. I could go out and get something for lunch when I'm going to the post office. So maybe I'll think about a couple of places near there with like outdoor seating where I could have lunch. Okay, it is about 1:30. All of those packages took a lot more time than I had anticipated, so I haven't even done cleaning yet. Also, my original plan was to get lunch out when I went to the post office, and I put up a poll for that. There's a couple of different restaurants I was thinking of, one that has like Southwestern type food, one that has French food, and it looks like French food is winning. However, I was looking and there is a heat advisory in New York City right now because with humidity, the temperatures feel like over 100 degrees. So going out in the hottest part of the day to be walking to the post office doesn't seem like the good move. So I think maybe I'm gonna look and see if there's a place that has French food that is nearby that I could either go pick up or have delivered, and maybe wait and do the post office until I don't know. Honestly, I might even just wait and go tomorrow morning just because it's so hot today and I already have to go pick up my kids later this evening and it's still going to be really hot and I just don't want to overdo it. So, slight change of plans. I'm going to look around, see what I can order in or order for pickup that's within, a few minutes of walking of me. And then after lunch, I do need to really get some cleaning done in the apartment, so I'll do a little more audiobook, but I'm going to throw up a poll to see if I should work on my physical book or my ebook for the afternoon after that. In terms of reading, I am making some good progress. I'm well over 200 pages into The Name of All Things. It is a long book. It's like over 500 pages long, so it's a lot to read. But I'm liking it. It's interesting. I feel like there's a lot happening. It's the kind of series that I feel like I probably am going to need to reread at some point because I'm sure that I'm missing things. There's just so much happening and so much detail to like the world building and the politics, but I love it. It's great. So yeah, I'm going to keep listening to this audiobook a bit, figure out lunch, get a little cleaning done, and throw up a poll to see if I should work on my ebook or physical book for the rest of the afternoon. Alright, I'm done cleaning the house. I am so tired. Also, it's now 4 o'clock. But I have gotten a lot of The Name of All Things read. I am about 350 pages in, and yeah, like it's just so interesting. There's so much going on. I love Janelle, who's our main female character. She's great. I love the way that this is exploring things about gender and sexuality. Oh my gosh. I might see if my spouse can pick up the kids. We'll see. I'm tired. So the poll definitely wants me to read a physical book. So I think it's looking like I'm not going to get much of the Sylvia Moreno Garcia book read in these 2 days because that is not what Instagram has directed me to do. So I am going to read a bit more of Greenwood. I'm going to drink a sparkling water and relax for a little bit. I will check back in later. I'm excited to read this. It's another one that's kind of dense and a little slower going, but I am really liking it. Good morning. I wanted to quickly wrap up this vlog. So last night after all the cleaning, I was so tired. I honestly just like laid on the couch and scrolled through TikTok. But I did do a little bit more reading on Greenwood last night and I'm continuing to love it. The writing is great. I actually feel like people who like something like The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden might like this book. So it's different in that it's set in a different time period and place. But what it reminds me of is it's a new take on mythology that is set in a time and place where things are really changing religiously. So in this, it's like the 1100s. Christianity is edging out traditional beliefs like Celtic religions and stuff like that. I think it's set in like Scotland. It's interesting because you see kind of the clash of old and new faiths. You see magic and these like mythological things happening Also, it's queer as the kids are now teenagers, and that's becoming more clear. And I'm just really, really enjoying it. All that to say, I did not finish any books during this vlog, but I had a good time. Instagram kind of controlled my day and my reading for a couple days, and hopefully this was fun for all of you. I know a lot of people were voting, so hopefully it's fun to see like the finished product of what I was actually doing behind the scenes. And I mean, the good news is I'm enjoying all the books that I was reading, even if I didn't finish them. So talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on the vlog. And for your question of the day, let me know if you have something you would like to see me do that's similar to this, where I like let Instagram or let social media decide what I do. What would that be? Like, what would be an interesting thing to see? Let me know in the comments down below, because these are fun to do every once in a while, and I may do it again. If you like this video, it does help if you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.